Hi there and welcome to our next edition of our C1 topic, all about carbon chemistry, and today's topic is going to be all about choice of fuels. Anyway, I will see you at the end of the lesson and enjoy, and here are your objectives.
And just as a reminder that if you do have any problems, you can contact me on email at swood@iscacollege.devon.sch.uk, or you can tweet me at swoodisca. Okay, so let's have a look at our objectives for today's lesson. Okay, so by the end of this lesson you should know and understand what should be considered when choosing a fuel, and what the reasons for choosing 3 examples of a fuel might be. When choosing a fuel, there are several factors that you need to consider. What we're going to do now is go through what those factors might be. The first thing you need to consider is the energy value, how much energy you're actually producing per certain amount of fuel. Thirdly, you need to consider the availability. How easy is it to get hold of the fuel? Is it something that's local, or does it have to be imported or shipped in from somewhere else? Thirdly, you need to think about storage. Is it a solid and therefore takes up a lot of room, or is it a liquid such as petrol and it can be stored in a much smaller volume? Fourthly, one of the most important ones is probably cost. How much fuel do you get for a certain amount of money? Is it going to cost more in the availability? Is it going to cost more than something that will get more energy value? Fifthly, you need to think about the toxicity, not just of the fuel, but of the products that you get from the fuel. So will the fuel cause you harm, or will the products cause you harm? Sixthly, will the products of when you burn the fuel be a problem for pollution? Will it produce carbon dioxide, or will it produce other gases that might not be such a pollution problem? And lastly, the ease of use. How easy is it to control? Do you need specialist equipment to use it, or can you just get on and burn it? For example, coal, you can just set fire to it, whereas gas is going to need a certain amount of pipeline to transfer the gas to you. Now, with all this information, you may be asked to analyse data on this. So it might give you the energy value and suggest which is the best energy to use. It may also give you the cost and the products that are made via the combustion of the fuel or burning of the fuel. So it's important that you understand which might be the best, and it might be that the one that's readily available is not always the best option. It might be the one with the highest energy value is not necessarily the best option.
Now, the first one we're going to look at as a fuel is methane. Now, methane is what we commonly use at home to burn, and it has this formula here. So we've got 1 carbon and then 4 hydrogens either side. So when we are using methane, we react methane with oxygen in the air, and that forms carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so we have the methane CH4, we then have oxygen, which is O2, carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and then water, which is H2O. Now, methane is quite an important gas. We can't see it from this picture here, but it is actually colourless. Now, it is colourless. It's as we've already said, it burns to form carbon dioxide and water. It's non-toxic, but it is a greenhouse gas, so it does have that environmental issue there. It's readily available, it's very easy to store, and it produces 55.6 kilojoules of energy per 1 gram when it's completely burnt. So as you can see, we get quite a lot of energy from that one. Right, the next fuel that we are going to look at is butane. Now just bring this butane up here. You can see the formula is 1, 2, 3 carbons. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hydrogens. Now butane, again, like methane, is normally used as a fuel, and we've got the gas canister there. Now it burns in the same way as methane, so we get carbon dioxide and water as our products. Now it's normally used, as you can see in this gas canister, as a camping gas, and we only get 26.9 kilojoules of energy for 1 gram. Now the last one we're going to look at is coal. Now coal is a lot different to the other two in the fact that this one is a solid. So this one does actually take up less room, making it a lot easier to store than the previous two. It's readily available, meaning that it's quite easy to get hold of, and it releases a lot of energy when it's burnt. Now, unlike the other two, it does produce toxic gases, and this is sulfur dioxide, which can cause acid rain as a pollutant, as well as being toxic for humans. What they're looking at now is trying to produce coal which is smokeless, so that we don't get the carbon soot that's given off as it is at the moment. And one of the ways of trying to do this is by discouraging countries like India and China to stop using coal as a fuel. Okay, so to review what we have done, we have looked at the 7 factors that you need to consider when choosing a fuel, so availability and so on, toxicity and whether they cause a problem with pollution, energy values and so forth. And then we've looked at 3 examples of fuels and how we can actually overcome the problems with them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.